His son, Christopher Jarrett Gardner Jr., was born on January 28, 1981. Gardner worked as a research lab assistant at UCSH, that is in San Francisco, and at the Veterans Hospital after leaving the service. His position as a research lab assistant paid only about $8,000 a year, which was not enough for him to support a live-in girlfriend and a child. After 4 years, he quit this job and doubled his salary by taking a job as a medical equipment salesman. This is the guy who has tried everything in life, at least to make it. Prompted by his son's inquiries about his father, Gardner had previously been able to track down his biological father via telephone. With a higher income from his new job, Gardner was able to save enough money to travel to Monroe, Louisiana, where he and his son met his father, Turner, for the first time. Gardner returned to San Francisco determined to succeed as a business. A pivotal moment in his life occurred after a sales call to a San Francisco General Hospital, when he encountered an impeccably dressed man in a red Ferrari. Curious, Gardner asked the man about his career. The man told him he was a stockbroker, and from that moment on, Gardner's career path was decided. Eventually, Gardner bought a Ferrari of his own from Michael Jordan. The Illinois license plate of Gardner black Ferrari reads not MJ or not Michael Jordan. The stockbroker in the red Ferrari was a man named Bob Bridges. He met with Gardner and gave him an introduction to the world of finance. Bridges organized meetings between Gardner and branch managers at the major stock brokerage firm that offered trainee programs such as Merrill Lynch, Payne Weber, E.F. Hutton, Dean Witter Reynolds, and Smith Barney. For the following 2 months, Gardner canceled or postponed his sales appointment, and his car amassed parking ticket while he met with managers. It appeared that Gardner got his break when he was accepted into trainee program at E.F. Hutton. He subsequently quit his sales job so that he could dedicate his time exclusively to training as a stockbroker. When he appeared at the office ready to work, only to discover that his hiring manager had been fired the week before. Boy. To make matters worse, Gardner's relationship with Jackie was falling apart. According to Gardner, the police witnessed an incident in which Jackie was running away with Chris Jr., and Gardner attempted to take the child back, but in the process swung Jackie into the garden bushes, which resulted in her being scratched. Gardner was apprehended initially for this incident, but an identity check on his car license plate led them to detain him for non-payment of parking fines. He was taken to jail, and judge ordered that he stayed there for 10 days as punishment for being unable to pay $1,200 in parking tickets. Jackie then took Chris Jr. away to live with her on the East Coast, but she eventually decided not to press charges over the incident. Even in the time of troubles, hata wakati wa shida, wakati mwingine Mungu anakuhurumia tu. You know, umefanya kitendo lakini mtu anaamua tu sita press charges, because this guy has seen a lot. And so Gardner returned home from jail to find his apartment empty, with no experience, no college education, virtually no connections, and with the same casual outfit he had been wearing on the day he was taken in custody. Gardner gained a position in Dean Witter Reynolds' stock brokerage trainee program, where, however, he's offered no salary apart from selling medical equipment that brought in $300 to $400 a month. in the early 1980s, and with no savings, he was unable to meet his living expenses. This is a man full of trouble. Ameona miaka na miaka with full of trouble. Umesafa mwaka moja but unasema ya kwamba you quit everything and you go back to your mom's home and akakulisha until your time of death, kwa sababu umeona life is like ni kama haina favorism at all. We can learn so much from this man. Now, the last part of fatherhood and homelessness. Listen here. Gardner worked to become a top trainee at Dean Witter Reynolds. He arrived at the office early and stayed late each day, persistently making calls to prospective clients with his goal in being 200 calls per day. His perseverance paid off when in 1982, Gardner passed his Series 7 exam on the first try and became a full employee of the firm. Eventually, Gardner was recruited by Bear Stearns and Company in San Francisco. About 4 months after Jackie disappeared with their son, she returned and left him with Gardner. Woi, ameongezewa mzigo baada ya mzigo. The wife brought a child wakati huu jamaa hata hana mwelekeo, na akaleta mtoto na akamuacha. By then, he was earning a small salary and was able to afford rooming in a flop house. He willingly accepted sole custody of his child. However, the rooming house where he lived did not allow children. Although he was gainfully employed, Gardner and his son secretly struggled with homelessness while he saved money for a rental house in Berkeley. Meanwhile, none of Gardner's co-workers knew that he and his son were homeless in the Tenderloin district of San Francisco. For nearly a year, Gardner often scrambled to place his child in daycare, stood in soup kitchens, and slept wherever he and his son could find safety. In his office after hours, at flop houses, motels, parks, airports, on public transports, and even a locked bathroom at BART stations. Concerned for Chris Jr. well-being, Gardner asked Reverend Cecil Williams to allow them to stay at the Glade Memorial United Methodist Church shelter for homeless women, now known as the Cecil Williams Glade Community House. Williams agreed without hesitation. Today, when asked what he remembers about being homeless, Christopher Gardner Jr. recalls, "I couldn't tell you that we were homeless. I just knew that we were always having to go. So if anything, I remember as just moving, always moving." This is a child trying to recall and ask this question: what would you remember about being a homeless child? And the child said that what he could remember, that they were moving. And why were they moving? According to the Christopher Senior Gardner, he said they were homeless. Wow. After Gardner had found a home, he resumed contact with Jackie and had a second child with her. In 1985, a daughter named Jacinta. Gardner turned down Jackie's offer for the two to get back together in a relationship, but arranged for Chris Jr. and Jacinta to stay with Jackie during his long hours at work. Now, this guy has seen a lot. He went through a lot. Lakini, if there is one guy that can inspire my life and your life today, Gardner didn't give up. Gardner kept pushing on, pushing boundaries, trying this, trying that. Though the fate of life will follow you today, you can make it. I tell you, you can make it. And that's why I decided to sum up the story of the animals that I've been sharing with this guy story, to make sure ya kwamba there where you are, you can make it. Though the life is hard, though you are trying things and they are falling apart, you can make it. In 1987, Gardner established the brokerage firm Gardner Rich and Company in Chicago, Illinois, an institutional brokerage firm specializing in the execution of debt, equity, and derivative product transactions for some of the nation's largest institutions, public pensions plans, and unions. His new company was started in small Presidential Towers apartment with a startup capital of only $10,000.